All right, welcome to the Cincinnati Reds franchise. I'm bringing this back from the dead from about, 10 years ago. I did it off of a laptop, my school laptop I was recording it off of, in MLB 7. That was bad. Like, the graphics were terrible. I was making wonky trades, like trade for Paul Konerko. I intend on making this one a little bit more realistic. That's the game plan. But this is an introductory video. We're going to learn about the team, get the roster down, and then next episode we will start the season on opening day. I think it's against the Cardinals. I'll have to double check that. Oh, accidentally bumped Cubs. Here we go. It's the GOAT himself, Joey Votto at first base. What else can you say about Joey Votto? He's just been so good for so long. Last year being such a revival for his career. Like, look at that. The last time he was really good was about what? 2017. He kind of fell apart through the years, and then 2021 comes and he lights it up again. Okay, sorry, phone was ringing. Here we go. Now we have the second baseman, the Rookie of the Year last year, the NL Rookie of the Year, Jonathan India. We're excited to see how he can progress here in this franchise. He's going to be one of those pieces to build around. We'll have a few more we'll talk about in a bit. But India, very solid. Good at hitting, really good at fielding. I'm excited to see what he can do here. And now we have Tyler Mahle. Had a really good year last year. He was definitely the best pitcher the Reds had last year. There wasn't a better pitcher. Castillo started the year off rough and then picked up. But Mahle definitely deserved coming into this season to be the ace over Castillo. And speaking of Luis Castillo, here he is. Started the year off horribly. I don't remember what his record was to start the year. But I do know his ERA was really bad. Where's that now? It's at 3. It's 3.98 now. It was at like in the 7s, like mid-season last year. It was terrible. We're hoping that he can have a bounce-back year here in 2022. We're going to need him to. Here is a new acquisition, the left fielder Tommy Pham from the San Diego Padres. Had a pretty solid year last year. Didn't have anything phenomenal, but wasn't terrible. We're hoping bringing him into Cincinnati can help him out a little bit. The hitter-friendly ballpark, the environment, all that stuff. And here's another piece that we're going to have to build around. Tyler Stevenson, the catcher. Took Tucker Barnhart's job, ultimately. Tucker Barnhart was traded to the Tigers. Don't necessarily remember who the Reds got in return for that. I'd have to look into that. But here's another... Actually, another guy that the Reds traded for was Mike Minor. They traded Amir Garrett to the Kansas City Royals and acquired Mike Minor. So last year wasn't terrific, wasn't horrific. He could definitely be a middle of the rotation guy for this team. We have TJ Antone for some reason who's with Louisville. I'm gonna call him up real quick. What did I say? I have a full 40 man. I'll have to bump someone down. But no, he's supposed to be on the major league roster. And here's the third baseman, Mike Moustakas. The man Moose, the man, the myth, the legend Moose. Last year wasn't very great. But he didn't really start all the time. As you can see there, he only played 62 games. Now he's in the full front seat for third base, with the Reds trading away Eugenio Suarez and Jesse Winker. Speaking of Winker, we'll get to him soon. Hopefully Moose can break that double-digit home run thing finally. He hasn't been over 10 yet for the Reds. Maybe he can break that this season. Lucas Sims, the closer. Excited about Lucas Sims. He was way better than Amir Garrett. I don't necessarily hated Amir Garrett. I just don't think he should have been our closer. Aristides Aquino, the Punisher. He's got some crazy power. If the ball is put just slightly in his wheelhouse, it's going to go gone. Tyler Naquin. A little bit of a revival last year. You played very, very good. After not playing very well with Cleveland. Actually, that year was pretty solid, 288 average. But he wasn't the greatest with Cleveland. Came over to Cincinnati and played very well. That's why I mean with Tommy Pham. Maybe he comes over and plays really good. Speaking of a guy that broke out. Kyle Farmer. Kyle Farmer was one of the best players for the Reds last year. He was an unsung hero. He was very solid, very underrated. Not a lot of people talk about how good Kyle Farmer was, but he was amazing. And this was a signee that the Reds had, Donovan Solano. He's got some good contact off the bench. Same here with Max Schrock. He's a good bench bat. Justin Wilson was a part of the Luis Cessa trade. Luis Cessa and Justin Wilson got traded to the Reds for... I don't remember off the top of my head. That was a last year trade. I want to look back at it. Cessa's also in the closing pitcher aspect here, and the closing pitcher position as well. Brandon Drury. Let's look at him real quick. Former Toronto Blue Jay. Former Met. I mean, if someone gets hurt, he wouldn't be a bad guy to bring up for a bench spot. Justin Dunn. This was part of the Winker and Suarez trade. Justin Dunn was one of the pitchers the Reds got in return. He's young. The Reds got a lot younger in that trade. There's Jake Fraley. One of my favorite pieces of that trade. I think Fraley is going to be very solid for us. 9 home runs last year. A 210 average. Not the greatest, but not the worst again. He is now in Cincinnati, so that could help him. My bad. All right. Now, look, Nick Lodolo, I intend to call up too, so when I get around to that, I'm going to call him up. Jay Allen. Don't know much about Jay Allen, but he's 19. 69 overall. A lot of speed. Very good at fielding. Could be a good piece for us. And there's Nick Senzel. Nick Senzel is an interesting case. He's a solid player when he's healthy, but that's the thing. When he's healthy, the dude cannot stay healthy to save his life. And I accidentally skipped over Vladimir Gutierrez, who was pretty good last year. When he got called up with the Reds, he was very solid. Made a name for himself. Albert Almora Jr. Another good guy could come off the bench if someone gets hurt. Alejo Lopez. Killed it last year. Like, when he actually got his time to shine, that man was getting base hits. Matt McClain. This guy right here, after a few years of developing, I hope this franchise lives long enough to see him develop into something good and become one of our big guys here. Maybe take over the spot from Kyle Farmer when he's done. But I am excited to see what Matt McClain can do. He was first round pick last year. So, I'm excited to see what Matt McClain can do. Matthew Nilsson. I don't know much about Nelson. I just figured out who he was recently. But I'm excited to see what he can do. Him and Tyler Stevens can be a good 1-2 punch. Hunter Strickland from the Rays. Not a terrible signing for the bullpen. Colin Moran from the Pirates. This is a weird look. This is a weird signing because I'm used to cheering against him, and now he's here in Cincinnati, so it's a weird little thing going on there. Tony Santillan, again, was solid. Wasn't the greatest, but he wasn't the worst either. I think he started. I think he came in as a starter for like a game or two. My mic turned off. I don't know what that was. Like I said, I think game started. He started 4 as a starter. And then he moved to the bullpen after he wasn't the best. Art Warren, another pretty solid relief pitcher. He's getting up there in age, though. So that's something to look out for. Alan Sierda, left fielder. Center fielder, my bad. He's young. He can develop, and he already looks like he could be something solid. Maybe one day could take the job from Nick Senzel, but we're actually going to move him to AAA. So we start calling up some other people. Aramis Garcia. This dude was raking in spring training IRL for the Reds. Maybe him and Stevenson can be a good duo for the season. I'll have to see who the catcher is there behind Stevenson. Hunter Green. One of the biggest prospects, the biggest prospect for the Reds, I should say. Finally made the opening day roster. The rotation. I'm excited to see what Hunter Green can do. He's got some gas in his fastball. As you can see there, 97. Can hit it easily. He's got a slider, changeup, and a curveball. I cannot wait to see what Hunter Green can do in the major leagues. TJ Hopkins here. Let's see, is there anyone else worth looking at? Shogo Akiyama I'm going to release because he's gone in real life. Jake Bowers, another bat that could be interesting to come up and be on the bench. Chase Petty. 18 years old and already looks like he's going to be something solid. So, we're excited for that. Here's the other piece the Reds got in that Mariners trade. Brandon Williamson. He's a starting pitcher. He's down on Double-A right now. But if he can develop into something good, that's what the Reds are looking for. TJ Friedl was also very good last year. 9 hits and 14 games played. I think he was the dude that had he came up and immediately had a 7-game hitting streak. Excuse me. We're going to cut Andrew Knapp too. Alright. And here's all of our starters. Malley. Well, we'll look at that in the rotations. I didn't mean to go to the Brewers. But now I've got to call up Antone. We're going to release Colosveri. I think that's how you pronounce that. And honestly, I don't hate how the rest of the team looks right now. The left field here is kind of stacked for Cincinnati. We got Pham. We know what Pham can do. He's been good for a while. Aristides Aquino's got some pop in the bat. Jake Fraley, I'm excited to see what he can do. I might move him to center field and he can compete with Senzel there. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to move Fraley to center field. That's what we're going to do. There we go. So Fraley will play center field for us, and he'll compete with Senzel. I might actually start Fraley over Senzel for now. And if Senzel can ease his way into it, that's fine. Here's Tyler Naquin. Doesn't really have a lot of competition right now. I mean, yeah, let's go look at the lineup. The lineups, so we can set them real quick. India, Naquin, Votto, Stevenson, Moustakas, Pham, Moran. I don't want Moran in there. Yep. Maybe Donovan Solano can be our DH. Like I said, I want Fraley starting over Senzel. I don't think we'll have to worry about these lineups because there's no DHs, right? It's universal. Alright. We'll keep Senzel in against the lefties, I think. Where's Fraley? Yeah, we will. Fraley's not very good at hitting lefties. And we'll keep Colin Moran as the thing for the lefties. Actually, maybe not. Also, Solano is starting third base there. We'll put Moustakas as the DH against lefties on the DH. Okay. That's our roster. That's our lineups. The pitching rotation, we'll look at this real quick. Here is your starting rotation. We're actually going to put Malley at first. Malley's going to be the ace for the Reds. And we have Luis Castillo, Mike Minor, Vladimir Gutierrez, and Reaver San Martin. The only thing is, I could be looking to add someone else, or maybe... Actually, no, Hunter Green's going to go there. What am I thinking? There we go. And a nice bullpen, too, for the Reds. It's much needed. But Hunter Green, I want to put over Gutierrez. There's the rotation. Alex Diaz, Jared Salmon. No idea who he is. James Marinian, I guess how I'm pronounced. TJ Antone. Antone's a disgusting pitcher, dude. He's got some very disgusting stuff. Justin Dunn. Jeff Hoffman. There's your rotation. And that'll do it for the introductory episode. My bad. Hopefully, we'll try. I'm gonna try and get opening day out pretty quick. Hopefully by the weekend. I'm already gonna try and have this up by tomorrow, so maybe I can have the first few games. Also, when I play games, I'm gonna do 3 games a week, and then we'll sim 2 weeks, just so we're not doing 162 games, you know. But if you're as excited for this franchise as I am, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. Do you want to see a certain player spotlight? Do you want to see certain people get caught up, certain people get caught down, certain trades I should explore? Don't get anything too crazy. Like, I shouldn't go for Mike Trout, stuff like that. But let me know. I'll see you guys on opening day. Peace.